We are gonna turn Pokemon into Minecraft mobs. So first I want to start with, so I want to make attacks like Explosion, Flamethrower, and Earthquake. First I think I want to start with Explosion because it's an easier, Explosion is gonna be an easier move to implement since explosions are already in Minecraft, so basically all we have to do is when we make our Pokemon do the move, it explodes. But I think there's some other interesting things we can do. In this config file, we have a couple recoil moves, which are all they're all explosion moves. Let's load it up. So I'm gonna load it up, and let's just see how it looks without adding any code. We're loading into the world. Okay, here we are. You might notice a little bit of destruction. That's just, I was testing before I started this video. Okay, so first we want to get our guy who's gonna explode. So Pokespawn, of course we have to go with our guy here. Electrode, well known for its explosions. If you look in the bottom right, in the bottom right there, that is the attack that your Pokemon is going to use in the environment. That is the attack your Pokemon is going to use in the environment here. Yep. There you go. Nice and easy. What you got to do in this mod to get your Pokemon to attack things is either you get the Pokestaff and right click, or you just punch. And there you go. Now obviously you'd think an explosion would deal a lot of damage, but this guy is still standing here, so we might need to make some changes, especially since our Electrode is level 60 and this guy's level 30. That doesn't really make a lot of sense, so I think that... what do I need to do there? I think I want to make the... damage scale to either your level, your Pokemon's level, or its attack stat. I'm going to start with level, because if Electrode at level 60 is not killing whatever this thing is, yeah, that's kind of a problem. But I think the explosions, maybe it'll be better if the explosions actually blow up the world. I think that would be a good change. So let me change that. Okay, so what we gotta do is go into our configuration file. Not in the class, but the configuration file that's generated, because that's what actually gets read. We are just gonna change it to true, and then I just want to remember that it's okay. We're gonna change this to true, and then I just want to leave this as a comment so I remember like what the default configuration is. So if we set that to true, it's gonna blow stuff up. So let's just check. Okay, back in the world. What am I trying to do? Pokespawn. Electrode. This is like, I just imagine like if you're doing this, if you have this mod, like you're playing with your friends. They have like a house somewhere and you just get a bunch of Electrodes and fucking, you just absolutely storm his house, and it would be great for Gracie. Alright. Okay, back on Explosion. Now this should think if your Pokemon is a higher level, it should be a bigger explosion. So let me change that. Alright, so we're in the class Fight or Flight Explosion. So this is just an override of the Minecraft Explosion class. Basically what we gotta do is, I have this line here that I'm gonna uncomment. So it gets the Pokemon's level here. Okay, so in this class, we have this calculate radius function, and basically this, as you might expect, calculates the radius for the explosion. And right now all it does is checks, basically, is this explosion a ranged attack or not? And if it's a ranged attack, it's a different radius. So what all I'm doing here is adding this line, which basically gets a multiplier by getting the Pokemon's level, dividing it by 100. So your level can be 1 through 100, divided by 100, so it's like a percentage, and then multiplying it by 5. So it's basically a percentage of 5. I don't know if that made sense, but you'll see what it does. And basically we just multiply that here, and we're gonna see what that does. You can blow up this crab. Come on. Sometimes the LOS is like weird. Yeah. Let's see what you got. No, okay. There is a difference. There is a difference. Somehow he's alive. By the way. But now the damage is kind of the issue. It's the other issue. Because the radius is scaling, but the radius is scaling, but the damage isn't. So I need to fix that.